Turning now to your community focus. Just this week, the U.S. Surgeon General called on Congress to add a warning label to social media, similar to what we have on cigarettes or alcohol. He argues these platforms can cause significant harm to a child's mental health. So to talk about that, I'm joined now by Dr. Tanuja Gandhi. She's a psychiatrist with Bradley Hospital. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, when you saw this news, this call for this warning label, what was your reaction?
I've read the Surgeon General's advisory on just social media and the impact on mental health before, so I wasn't as surprised. It was interesting to see that we're pushing for regulation on social media content and apps, but also very encouraging because I think what it's saying is that you need to be mindful of your engagement with apps and social media sites that you're not aware about.
Yeah, and do you think a label on something like this would be effective in terms of helping kids avoid these harms that it can cause?
How I think about a label is it's just like a label on content that you would watch otherwise, say a movie on Netflix, right?
Sure.
You know it's rated for a certain age. The chances that a parent who doesn't know about the movie is going to see saying, oh my God, it's for 18 years and older only, and my 12-year-old or my 5-year-old can't watch it with me. So it's similar to that. It gives you an idea of the kind of content you're going to engage with. So I'm hoping it'll be helpful for some people, but also just like all labels, some people might ignore it and be like, I think I can make my own decisions. So I think if this happens, it remains to be seen.
For sure. You know, as parents, we hear a lot about screen time, but I'm curious, is it more damaging for kids to spend a lot of time on one of these devices, or is it more about the content that they're engaging with?
I think the answer is complicated and somewhere in the middle, because we know that problematic social media use are, in other words, spending a lot of time on social media has its own impact on mental health, and also engaging in certain content. For example, if children are watching videos of self-harm behaviors or cutting, or some really graphic, violent content, which is not appropriate for age or stage of development, that can be harmful in its own way. So I think both the amount of time and the type of content you're engaging with or watching is important to note.
And what's your advice to parents who might be watching at home who think it's really hard to take the cell phone, the tablet, or the computer away from my kid? What's your advice to them on how to limit how much they're interacting with what can be harmful?
The fact that we are having this conversation itself says that, you know, this conversation belongs in our living rooms and in our just family life in general, and we should be talking about the limits that can be set around our engagement with technology and social media. So my advice with parents would be to bring this conversation home with their families and children. Think about what is really meaningful to you and have technology-free times and zones where you can engage in family time.
Well, we will wait to see what becomes of this Surgeon General's suggestion. But Dr. Tanuja Gandhi from Bradley Hospital, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.